Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're looking at the stepsister of all hype generators, the Neural DSP Quad Cortex. It's only been a couple of months since I received this unit, but I've already had the chance to use it quite a bit for practicing at home, at rehearsals, and even did a couple of live gigs with it. And for those interested in my unadulterated first impressions of unboxing this unit, here you go. Cool. Not the easiest thing to get out. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Exactly what I expected, I would say. The only thing that feels a bit bigger than I would expected is the screen. Other things you don't hear is the rotary knobs. They have very defined clicks. From all the videos I've seen, I thought they were smooth. Very sturdy and smooth volume knob. The bottom panel, you can hear it is not as solid as the top. So with that out of the way, let's go over my extended first impression with context of actual use of the unit. And before we proceed, let's actually turn the unit on. And this does usually take a while, so I'm just gonna go make some tea. Okay, it should be done starting up any second now. Okay, there we go, it's ready to go. So let's get into the actual review and start with the most important aspect, which is the sound. The Quad Cortex sounds absolutely massive, organic, and overall just amazing. And for your listening pleasure, I'm gonna play the best riff in the world. But I'm sure you've heard it all over the internet by now. This unit sounds absolutely amazing. The thing that I was most surprised and impressed by in terms of its sound is actually how this quality and depth of sound were very perceivable to me in a live situation. It's no secret that the Quad Cortex has an amazing huge touchscreen, and here it is next to a similarly sized piece of paper for reference. However, for such a nice and big touchscreen, the unit is actually not that easy to navigate. For instance, can you tell how to save your patch? Well, there's the floppy disk icon right there. Okay, that one was not so bad. But can you guess how to change presets? Well, that's the preset name, so I guess you tap it and then you can change presets. But now what if I wanted to split my signal? Hang on a second. Oh, there we go. You gotta press and hold the signal chain. There we go, there it is. Okay, well, what is that scene thing? I wonder what happens when you press it. Oh, it seems like it changes between scene, stomp, and preset modes. I wonder what would happen if you press that live by accident. Well, I don't have to wonder because I actually made that mistake. On our last live show, just before we started playing, I accidentally touched this and changed it to stomp mode. And all of these lights came on and I had no idea what's going on. And I didn't know whether I did something wrong or the unit glitched out, so guess what I did? I just restarted it. Yeah, we already know that was a bad idea. Having said that though, in terms of the UI and interaction with the unit, it's actually really cool how easily you can download presets from the cloud. So here, for example, is a demo of me downloading presets for 3 bands whose music I want to play in the near future. It's also absolutely amazing that you can run more than one guitar off of it, and you can actually run a guitar and a mic, since it has 2 XLR inputs and phantom power. But if you are going to run 2 guitars off of this unit, I would highly suggest sending the outputs of their respective signal chains down separate XLR cables and panning them in the mixing console. Otherwise, the 2 guitar sounds, even if they're using different amp sims and IRs, are gonna sound very similar. Unless, of course, you use vastly different amps, but that doesn't make much sense. I actually tried that with the other guitarists from my band at our last rehearsal, and it worked great, other than the similarity in sound. Speaking of cables, the power cable that comes with the unit is actually quite flimsy, and definitely not something I would call robust. Plus, you're always relying on it since the unit does not run off of battery. But I guess it's pretty much the same as other units like this, and all I can say is get a spare power cable. Patch switching actually has a small dropout in sound, and I'm pretty sure that's the same as all the other units, but let me demonstrate it for you anyway, just so you know what's up. So here I am in my rhythm patch. I'm just gonna switch to my clean patch and have a look for yourself. This is definitely less than ideal when you're performing live, but there's a way around it, and that's by using scenes. So instead of switching patches, you just switch scenes, and here it is, for example, going from my rhythm tone to my lead tone. So you see there's absolutely no dropout in sound. And the cool thing about using scenes this way, unlike my iPad rig, is that delay trails carry over. And I was actually really surprised by how much of an effect I felt from it live. and my audience might not have noticed it, but I definitely did. So I have a specific part in one of my band's songs that demonstrates this quite well, so I'll just play that for you so you can see for yourself. So I don't know if you noticed it there, but as I ended that lead part, that space created by that, it remained when I went into the rhythm. Of course, I messed it up a bit by having to switch presets in such an uncomfortable manner, but I think you get the point. So now let's get to a few minor points, and the first of these is that the switches are a bit too close for bigger footwear. So for instance, if you have boots or something like that, you definitely have to be quite precise in terms of the side-to-side movement, but you also can't go too far forward because you get into danger of hitting the upper row first. I think there's some marketing out there that the screen is very well protected, but I wouldn't be so sure. When my girlfriend first saw this unit, she said, "Oh, that looks pretty cool, but the screen seems pretty exposed." And I'm like, "Oh, don't worry, it's like a special protected thing." And I just like lightly tapped it with some object, and it did that weird thing which screens do when you put pressure on them, where it went like black. And since then, I'm just not very sold on how protected it is. And lastly, it's just not that amazing for working with it on a desk or like in a studio scenario. But I did get around that by using a cheap laptop stand, and I can say that actually worked pretty well. And of course, it more than makes up for this downside by the fact that it is itself a floor unit, and you don't need an external foot switch controller to control it. Oh look, it actually got a positive score. So what do you think about the Quad Cortex? Leave your thoughts down below. And if you're interested in what I packed for a live gig, spoilers, it includes the Quad Cortex, you may want to check out this video right here. But as always, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.